Hey there. So, from time to time, I get asked questions about my background and things that are, basically about Terry Pappy. And since this may be the first time you're getting to know me and seeing my content, or interested in PappyClub and you just want to know more, I thought I'd create a couple of videos to help you get to know me and why I'm crazy passionate about serving solopreneurs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I pulled a couple of kind of general questions that I get from members that I thought would be helpful. So let's see. Let's take one question and answer it. All right. So this first one is from Naveed B of Orlando, Florida. And he says, Terry, what is your background and what kinds of work have you done in marketing and advertising? And Naveed is a VIP Access member. So thank you, Naveed, for that question. So boy, how long do we have? So I have been a creative like my whole life and involved in communications and everything around advertising, customer experience, marketing, you name it. I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh and I also studied at Georgia Tech. And I've got this really unique blend of a lot of creative and also I'm super interested in technology. Now, before I went to art school, I had a big dilemma. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to be a journalist or go to journalism school or to go to commercial, get a degree in commercial art and go the advertising route. And so I ended up choosing the creative route, going into advertising. And I'm so glad I did because the writing kind of came along with it. And so you may or may not know, but I've written and published 6 books, working on my 7th called Flying Solo. And it's all about being a survival guide. It's a survival guide to being a solopreneur. And I'm super excited about writing that. I'm just like getting started with it. So I can't predict when it'll be out. But one of the things that I've really enjoyed in my journey as a professional marketer and communications expert is all of the different roles I've had in my career. My first job out of college was as a typesetter, but I was working for a very small mom and pop, and the family, the husband, had been a hot lead typesetter. So he was a true craftsman, and he taught me all about kerning, all about just the visual design of typography. And it is I will always be in debt to, his name was Vince, to Vince for teaching me so much about typography. And yeah, it was a job, but I mean, it was just amazing to be kind of like working with a craftsman like Vince. And every job after that, kind of built that piece of the pie to make me a well-rounded marketer and advertiser. I've worked for newspapers. I've worked for printing companies. I know a lot about printing. I've worked for client-side advertising departments, meaning inside a big company in their advertising department. I've also worked for advertising agencies. I had IBM Advantis as an account. And I've had my hands in like lots of large retail consumer brands, from the old decrepit Sears and Roebuck company to, Sprint and a lot of the larger companies that we know about today. And it's just given me such a well-rounded experience base from, everything around production, like from the inception of the idea to, putting it together, writing the copy, laying it out, getting it to the printer, getting it to distribution, the advertising aspect. I mean, every aspect. And I've loved the journey I've had as a professional, learning all these things and really understanding the whole life cycle of communications. And so when in 2006, like many people, I was laid off what I'll call my last corporate job, and that was working on the web team at Marriott. And I had made the transition from traditional print into technology and doing online web, digital work, probably I would say in the mid 90s. And I did that while I was, kind of working for the Orlando Sentinel newspaper, and they were going online. So I had a great opportunity to learn a lot there. That's when I started, learning things from Georgia Tech about new media and everything. Anyway, I get going. But what was amazing was when I was laid off, I really didn't know what to do. I'd always worked in a company. I'd always been paid to deliver an asset, a design or a, strategic direction with marketing or copy or whatever. And so I was kind of lost. And so what I tried to do initially when I started my own business, I just acted like a freelancer. So I hung out my shingle and I would just make things for people, for businesses and neighbors and stuff like that. I mean, it went from like a high ranking position with Marriott down to this like doing a web design for somebody for like, a couple $100 because I didn't believe in myself. I was like, I don't know if I can make it on my own. And so that journey from 2006 to today and continuing that journey as I move forward has taught me so much about being a solopreneur and really understanding how hard it is for small business, how hard it is for solopreneurs to communicate what they want to communicate, to market professionally, to build a brand and a reputation, to do sales. I mean, all of these things I've had to learn on my own. And I learned the hard way. And I'm still to this day learning lessons about value, about sales, about building relationships. And these are things I'm super, really attached to, and I infuse in all of the training that I do and the way I work for my clients today. I mean, I still have projects I'm working on and building today, but my work is so much more strategic at this point in my career where I've decided that I needed to, help my fellow solopreneur. So that's my background. I've had all different types of experience, worked in a lot of different capacities, and my favorite job is working for me as a solopreneur because I get so much more freedom in choosing how I want to serve my clients and what I want to deliver. And so hopefully, Naveed, that answers your question about what is your background. So thank you for asking, and I hope that was helpful in allowing you to get to know me.